Hello, am I even live? My channel, am I live? Right, Tom, can you hear and see me? Hey, Richard. Right, I think this is back. Hey, folks. Yay, you can hear and see me. Nice. Right, I am just making sure that I'm going to try and see if this delete. 25 people here. Yes, hey, we're back. Nice. So sorry. Once we get back to about 50 viewers, I'll then crack on because we had about 50 before it crashed. So Facebook's back running. Yay. Okay. Got 36. Once it hits 50 again, then I'll crack on. So just talk amongst yourselves. Any quick 1-second answers for any questions I can give whilst we're waiting? Again, I have to apologize for my hay fever. I've destroyed half of the Amazon rainforest, blowing my nose. I feel bad. I'm going to have to plant some new trees. My nose has been at like a constant tap of just, yeah. Yeah, and today has been a bit worse. So, Tom, it's in the post. I went on Amazon and it took a while. Round 2, let's go. We've got 46 here, 4 more, then we'll crack on. Am I still bullish on Neo? Incredibly so. I am indeed. We've got 47, 3 more, and we'll crack on. Right, what are we looking at? Do you place trade FMC minutes? No, I didn't. Can you short crypto? Yes, you can, but I wouldn't. Don't short crypto. Yes, Stuart. Sorry. Thank you. Yeah, the leaky gut thing. Yeah, I did read it. I'm so sorry I haven't replied yet. I'm getting inundated. But Chris, do you have any more really interesting interviews coming up? I haven't actually, but I should probably do more. Yeah, I will. Right, okay, we got 60 people here. Let's crack on. Let's talk about crypto first. So we've got 2 things to talk about: crypto, and then there's a new business owner in the WAP that's about to launch his new business, which is great. So we'll then give him like a critique, constructive feedback thing on his new landing pages, etc. But let's do crypto first. Now, context is very important. And that's what people miss on Twitter. I can say I'm bearish on something, and then like 5 months later, someone will be like, "You said you were bearish on this time 5 months ago, but it went up." I'm like, "Yeah, you can't, like when someone says they're bearish or bullish, like you shouldn't ever have a fixed stance on anything, like anything at all. You have to be completely fluid." And I say this all the time: trading and investing are 2 different things. You use fundamental analysis for your investing, and therefore your thesis, your views, the fundamental reasons why you're buying stuff, that shouldn't change often, because you're looking at the big underlying factors of what moves stuff and what makes things go up and down, yada yada yada. But trading, you've got to be like water, like Bruce Lee said. Your opinion will always change because data always changes. So let's go through the fundamentals first. A really quick recap of the fundamentals. I'm going to share my screen. Let's do this. And I'm not going to labor the point. I've explained my, the reasons behind all the sort of stuff in loads of other posts. But let's just do a quick recap of everything. So, stock to flow. So, looking at the fundamental stuff, okay? We're not looking at the trading. We'll get into the charts in a minute. So I'm a big believer of stock to flow. Where are we on this? We're nowhere near, or in fact, it doesn't matter. December is when we always hit the peaks with every bull cycle per halving. So this is just what's happening here is just a double peak. So just like the 2013 bull market where we had a double peak and then it peaked in December, I'm still very, very confident this is still going to happen. And it looks even more bullish if you look at the S2FX model, the cross-asset model. I think that's a bit too optimistic in my opinion, the S2FX model. But yeah, stock to flow is pretty consistent. So when you then compare or tally that in with this ruble chart, what's it saying here? So the upper band, if we were to zoom in a bit, press pan. So the lower band is good. So we're not going to be seeing lower than $10,000 Bitcoin. I'll be surprised if we get back down to 20 now. But the upside is that the upper band, which this green band always catches the tops, always, just like the purple band at the bottom. It's sitting at 152k. So time is our friend. The longer this goes on, the higher this goes. So I'm still confident that we'll hit between 100k to 150k Bitcoin by December, or by the end of December. Alts should then peak in January. What happens after that? No one's too certain. It could be a consolidation. It could just go sideways, or it could be a super cycle where we don't get that consolidation. I haven't made my mind up on that. There's not enough data. So that's that. Then again, I went through this the other day, but it's just going through the big picture stuff here for the moment. When you look at the logarithmic regression band weekly chart, let's add an indicator. Let's indicate logarithmic. Let's get to the Sean Nance one. It's just easiest to see. Where do we sit? We're below the mean at the moment. We are nowhere near the red, nowhere near the blue. We're halfway. So, the bull cycle's still on, folks. And, I just wouldn't get too worried. Twitter and YouTube is just full of noise. It's either, oh my God, we're going to zero. Oh my God, we're going to $1 million. You got to chill the hell out, folks. We're still well in the cycle. And as I said, as time progresses, or time is our friend, because the longer this goes on, let's say it's going to only hit the bottom band of this, or by December time, the bottom band of that is 115k, and the top part of this is 230k. If we're somewhere around the middle, 150, I think, is a fair shout to start being really cautious. So that's that one. Let's get rid of some of these. Let's get rid of the indicators. Let's get out of that regular, back to the daily chart. Back to something else. Yeah. Okay. So that's that. If you were to then look at some of the on-chain data, not massively on-chain, too in depth, but is crypto still going up? That is the thing you need. Are we still in a bull market? Is it still in demand? Are there inflows coming? All that sort of stuff. So one way to look at it is if you look at active addresses. So we've had a bit of a dip. That's fine. But the thing that I'm more interested in is balances with more than 10,000 Bitcoin. So that has dropped. Okay, so this is what. So that's actually a bearish sign, if anything, that addresses with more than 10,000 Bitcoin have dropped. So that means some people are probably on the sidelines, ready to get in. However, as we go into sort of the smaller wallets, so like 100 Bitcoin or more, 10 Bitcoin or more, you'll see that the drop isn't that bad. And what's happening is there may be some big boys sidestepping for the moment, but there are loads of people getting into crypto at the moment, as in new, people have bought, $5, $100, etc. But because when we look at new address, new address has gone down. Okay, it's been a while since I looked at this. The last time I looked, it was going up. So, okay, new address is going down. However, the total thing is that the thing that really indicates whether we're going down or is the hash rate. Price succeeds hash rate. So where is the hash rate? It's down here. There we go. We haven't had a calamitous, a drop in hash rate. It's just gone back to its moving average, basically. It's bounced off it. And so, if the hash rate suddenly fell down here, what would then happen is, China would probably I don't know, nationalize all of the mining companies in China, then stopped it, or something bad like that. But we're not seeing that. So, barring something crazy like that or a solar flare, it's still bullish. And remember, network effect is the only thing that really pushes crypto up these days. So that's that. What else? Other big things? I guess, yeah, they're the bullish stuff. And also the inflows are still coming in. So the big money inflows, like the amount of ETFs that are trying to launch at the moment is just ridiculous. We had the biggest, so we had that Ether ETF that launched in Canada. That's the biggest ETF launch ever. And we've got loads. And when you launch an ETF, you need like a massive amount of the underlying asset. And when you're looking at Bitcoin Jesus, I call him Bitcoin Jesus, Michael Saylor, he's just secured a $500 million debt round, and he's plowing that all into Bitcoin. And like he says in so many interviews, one of the differences between 2017 bull market and this bull market is the fact that now we're having billionaires and massive entities that are buying it and will never sell. Michael Saylor will never sell his Bitcoin. So we've got huge huge bullish fundamentals. So I am bullish. However, there is a massive however here. Short term is a bit ropey. Now, I've been very bearish for the last few weeks, and quite rightly so. And I've called a fair few drops. But what I'm going to do, just to cover all of the bases, is I'm going to go through this whole list very quickly. Because these are the cryptos that I own. And what we're seeing is a bit of a disconnect. So typically, if we just click on Bitcoin here, typically, whatever Bitcoin does, everything else follows, but it exaggerates it. Bitcoin goes up, alt zoom beyond faster. Bitcoin goes down, alt crash a lot faster. But as this market is growing in terms of market cap and the amount of coins out there, and the Bitcoin market share is dropping, we're going to see a disconnect of the Bitcoin influence. So what we'll see from now onwards is that the whole market may not necessarily move in tandem, in unison with Bitcoin. So we will see, Bitcoin go down, whereas some other big coins will just continue going up. So that's something to be aware of. I know for the last, few years, it's been a case of look at Bitcoin, everything follows Bitcoin, and then you can jump in and out. It's a... So be careful. And the other thing I want to talk about before we go into the charts, the other reason why I'm a bit cautious is because when you look at the leveraged positions, so if you go to datamish.com, it basically shows you all of the levered data from Bitfinex, which is really where most of the levered action is. And so if you were to zoom out to the 360 days, so the yearly data here, and then click on Bitcoin, we are seeing... click this. We are seeing something rather interesting. So here's how to decipher this. This grey stuff here is the Bitcoin price. We all know that. This is a silly line chart. I hate line charts. But the blue stuff... in fact, the easiest thing is just show you on TradingView. So BTUSD longs. So what this means is that at the moment, there are roughly 47,000 Bitcoins worth of longs, levered longs. So people taking margin and going long on Bitcoin. Now, in Bitcoin, it's always more than the shorts. However, what everyone is ignoring is this. We've never, ever, 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 ever in all of Bitcoin's life had so many levered shorts. Ever. And so what this means is roughly 25,000 Bitcoins worth of shorts happening here. Now, you can't, and this is what this is showing here. Now, the longs will always be more than the shorts. I mean, that's nearly always with Bitcoin. However, you've got to look at the cadence between them. So whenever you see, so it's all about the divergences and convergences between these two lines. And so the cadence, that's the key thing to look at here. So for example, if we take this bit over here, shorts remain flat pretty much, but then the longs shot up. So that is a divergence, and therefore price should rise. And what happened? We had the divergence in the levered longs and shorts, and the price rallied. Guess what then happened? The longs, the levered longs, then reduced in comparison to the shorts, there we go, price drops. So I could argue both ways, whether it's a leading indicator or a lagging indicator. I actually think it's both. You'll see some big boys that will drop in and out before moves, and then the market will just follow. So it is a mix. And so same here. So what we're having right now is levered longs are petering out, as we can see here on this chart here. It's up, but it's getting a bit squeezed, whereas the shorts have just shot up. Therefore, this is a convergence, and therefore, in the favor of the shorts, and therefore it's pretty damn bearish for Bitcoin. Just looking at this data sample, remember there's so many data points you need to look at. And as I said here, patterns still work even with these charts. And what we're seeing here is a bit of what I call a pincer. It's rising compression, rising market. So therefore, you should technically see a move out of this apex, which we have here, to the downside. I made a video the other day, and we haven't had that just yet. But when we're looking at the levered shorts, it's insane. It's relentless. So obviously, the age-old thing, what's going to happen? There's two things that can happen here, and both of them are rather explosive. So what we won't see is just nothingness. We're either going to see a pretty rapid correction with Bitcoin, or we're going to see a monumental rally. Now, here's why. Let's look at the short thesis. So looking at this, what this basically means, this is looking just at this chart alone, is we're looking at a drop down to 20k. That's how catastrophic this sort of squeeze is looking. However, there could always be a short squeeze here, and so if there's enough money that keeps on inflowing into Bitcoin just to prop this up, and it just keeps on if the price of Bitcoin just keeps on trickling up, we're going to get load of shorters liquidated. And if that happens, that's going to basically catapult things up. We're going to see a very sharp movement beyond 60. Sorry, as I said, this is just one data point. And so this is why trading and investing is so confusing, because you'll have the fundamental part of your brain trying to override what the technical part of your brain is saying in terms of technical analysis. And you'll always have a batting head, internal wars. So that's interesting. We'll come back to that because I want to show you some of the other sort of levered positions on some of the other ones. So Litecoin had a massive falling over here. In terms of the longs, and it's in a bit of a squeeze. It's inconclusive looking at this. Same with Ethereum; it's all gone a bit flat. Monero, that's looking bullish based on this. The shorts are getting out. The levered longs are staying flat, and therefore this is bullish. Zcash or Zcash, when it's sort of, there is an overall convergence, but yeah, that's fine. IOTA, not much. EOS, not much. However, my warning flags are going nuts right now, simply because of what's happening on Cardano. It's a case of WTF? What the hell is happening with Cardano? In terms of, so we've got a huge amount of people shorting Cardano. Now, whether it's something, I don't know why. I'm extremely bullish on Cardano. I really am. So this is, again, the internal confliction between what I'm seeing with my eyes and what I know with the fundamentals. We've got huge updates coming with the Cardano roadmap. They're making inroads with all of Africa, basically. Is actually doing stuff now in terms of data, so identity on their network. So this is just interesting. Now, in terms of where my positions, I've actually, as of today, got back into crypto. I was sort of 25% in, and the bulk of it is now back in. However, there's 4 positions which I haven't re-entered yet. I've re-entered everything else, but the 4 positions I haven't re-entered are ADA. So that's the first one. Come on, Simon. Eyes open. There we go. So if we're looking at ADA, and I'm just going to get rid of the squiggles so we can... Oopsie, that's one more. The squiggles so we can have a little look. Now, from a weekly chart perspective, it is massively overextended. Well, actually, no, I wouldn't say it's overextended. It was overextended, and we had the 50% pullback. So the market's now happy. The market does not like an overextended play, and it will always pull back 50%. We had that, so that's satisfied. I personally can't see any further catastrophic falling with this. On the weekly chart, that move has been satisfied. However, it is looking pretty damn weak here on the daily chart. So we have this support level here, which it is caterpillaring up. But the thing that is really concerning is that we've got a really shitty looking head and shoulders here. Shoulder, head, shoulder, neckline, plop through. So a move back down to 120 is not unheard of. Well, technically, if you're going to be precise about this, the neckline is about here, so 140. The head is, call it 180. So we're looking at a 40-cent drop. So 40-cent drop takes us down to $1.10. So really, just in front of this level here. This is what the chart is showing right now. With that particular thing, we have, if we were to, in fact, let's get rid of that one. Let's go into the 4-hour chart. And we've also got a squeeze. And what you'll find, looking at all the charts right now, everything is being squeezed. Everything. So again, here's another confliction. So this whole video is going to confuse the hell out of all of you. And welcome to trading, folks. That's what happens. So the thing which looks slightly more positive is this bit here. The fact that the market is re-attacking this level here. So when a level gets smothered, it gets weaker. It's like skipping a stone across water. It will jump, 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 and then plop because it loses kinetic energy. And it's the same for support and resistance. So this level around here is getting smothered. If it can breach this and close above it and do a bit of a Kobo, kiss off, bugger off, and a Kobo looks like this. Up, kiss off, bugger off. So if that can happen, then it's bullish. But so this is why I'm still on the sidelines. I've got the best part of 50k waiting to get into ADA, but I'm just waiting because again, if we have a move back down to 145, really bearish because then it's creating, yeah. So I'm indecisive about that. Filecoin is another one. There's only 10 grand waiting to get into that one. Why am I not in this one? Oh yeah, simply because it looks bearish as hell. I got out of Filecoin somewhere around here, and I've just been sat on the sidelines. It's been great, but look, whenever you see compressions, the apex, so the last sort of 20% of the move, like here, is the crux. So we're going to see a squeezing. Yeah. So I'm just waiting. It's looking bearish. This level, this sort of $70 level, if we sort of, yeah, this sort of $70, $69 level is getting smothered. So if we were to punch below here, yeah, I think. So I'm waiting on Filecoin. I haven't got back on that one. Binance, I've got a bunch of money waiting to get back in Binance. Yeah, we've got another squeeze. So if you were to look at something like this, and again, I don't want to waste your time. I could argue equally for both sides with Binance. However, in the short period, it's looking pretty bearish. This is more like a topping pattern or like a rising compression in a falling market. So, and a shitty head and shoulder. So I would like to see a punch back down here. So I think my entry order for Binance at the moment, which may shift, is at 281. So where's 281? If I zoom in a bit. 281, yeah, to the base of the structure. So that is how it would play out. I'm going to be fluid with that. Don't be surprised if you see me on the next video going, oh yeah, I got back in Binance with a little punch down. If it punches down, I probably will get in before the Kobo. So that's that. And the last one I'm not in is Atom. Everything else I'm in, other than these 4. Atom's the last one. Yeah. This it's still looking like a potential head and shoulders. Yeah. And the thing with head and shoulders is that you got to, the way you trade head and shoulders is not like how you see on the internet. You've got to short the right shoulder. So if you have a shoulder here, you then have the head. I know it looks like a willy. Calm down. So what you do is, as it's making the right shoulder, this is where you short it. It's literally, it's here. That's where you short it. So then it comes down, and then it may fanny around for a bit, but then it plops through, it'll do a Kobo, and then carry on. So that's how you trade head and shoulders. Or what's happening right now, we've got the shoulder, we've got the head, we've got the right shoulder forming. So the reason I'm not getting back in right now is because this could easily, I'm not shorting it, I'm just on the sidelines here, is that this could easily start coming back down here. And if it does, this level's getting smothered and we could see a bit of a punch. So that's how you trade head and shoulders properly. But for the moment, just waiting. Yeah, I'm in no rush. So let's go through some of the others and then I'll look at the questions. I'm purposely ignoring the chat box at the moment. So, in fact, I'll do the ones where I've got bigger positions in, because a lot of these, like if you just look at Dent, I've only got $1,000 in. I've got, so some of them I've got very small amounts in. In fact, I'll give you a little sneak peek. Hurry up. No matter how fast a computer you have, you still end up buffering. This is a $5,000 gaming computer. It's like 128 gig RAM. It's got the RTX 3090 Ti. Oh my God, what's going on here? This is really interesting. Come on. Okay, Microsoft Whiteboard obviously doesn't want to play ball here. Right. Let's just get Microsoft Paint. Evidently, that's not working. Oh no, I can't get Paint because I'm trying to show you my port. Right, let's just engage this. Come on. Oh my Lord. Microsoft, you are not helping me out here. Here we go. Right. Crypto reentry. So, as I said, yeah, there's I guess this is what I'm doing. 60% solid plays, 30% solid smart tracker, 10% smart tracker. So most of these I've only got $1,000 in. So I'm not going to cover a lot of these. This is me just basically trying to own the market. I'll basically go through these. I've got chunky positions with those ones. So without further ado, Aave. I'm already in it. This is looking very bullish. Now I know that this level is being smothered and we could have a bit of a punch down, but the pattern which I'm actually hanging my hat on is this falling compression in a falling market, and which is actually really bullish. You should see a movement up to the top of the structure here, which technically is around 520. But again, yeah, the technical analysis is nuts. Honestly, the more you get into trading, you'll be able to argue yourself. You'll come up with this is what's going to happen. And then the other part of your brain will go, you're wrong, you're an idiot, Simon. What about this? And so, in fact, I'm just curious. There's I can see some of my students here. What big pattern am I missing? This is more of a test for some of my students here. What bearish pattern am I completely ignoring here? Going to give it a second. And just waiting for the massive delays. Okay, I'll put you out of your misery. It's the Batman pattern. So we've got, not really double top. This is a Batman pattern. So what is a Batman pattern? You're probably thinking, well, it's this. This is Batman's ears, his middle bits, and then it creates the face. And it's Batman. So, yeah, that is what I'm ignoring. So this could very easily be the Batman playing out. And to be fair, this 280 level is getting smothered. It really is getting smothered. So therefore, we could see a movement. In fact, this line should be more like that. It's like a fat Batman. But yeah. Or Doges, yeah. But really, I think that the thing that I'm really looking at is this falling compression in a rising market, in a falling market, which is actually bullish. So yeah, that's Arve. Again, we'll look to ADA, not Acro, Atom. Yeah, still waiting to get in. That's that potential head and shoulders playing out. Binance, we've just looked at that one. Bitcoin. Right, so Bitcoin. Obviously, I don't buy Bitcoin. I never buy Bitcoin. But so here are the conflicting issues. So looking at the weekly chart, we are looking at the world's worst head and shoulders, basically. So shoulder, head, shoulder. The neckline is something around sort of 30. And then we could see a fall. If it did, it's 20K. We're not going to go below 20K. There's still, I would say, a 20% probability of seeing 20K for various reasons. The two main reasons is the levered data, so the leverage data of Bitcoin. This is very bearish. And the other real bearish thing is the fact, is this pattern. So they're the two real bear ones. So I would say a 20% probability, 80% we're going to basically go sideways. Well, we're going to see some sort of explosive move. And to be honest, there's not enough data here to really show you, there's a bit of a double bottom here, and we're having a bit of a Kobo. So this is what a Kobo looks like, probably, in real life. So we've got the double bottom, or even a triple bottom, really. Sorry, we've got the triple bottom here. And it's creating a neckline, or what I call the bum line. And what's happened is, it looks like it could be Koboing. So we've got the breakout, getting the move back down to bugger off. That's what Kobo is. Kiss off, which is this bit, kissing off, bugger off. So, yeah. Let's move on. Okay, I haven't got much of that. Again, everything's in a squeeze. You can click on anything pretty much, and it's all in a squeeze. So, let's get rid of all this. More of a squeeze. And the annoying thing is, most of the squeezes are symmetrical compressions. And a symmetrical compression doesn't give you a direction bias. It's technically, by the book, 50-50 outcome. However, maybe you could add a few percentage probability to the direction of the overall trend. So you could probably say, if I was to be forced to put a probability on this, I would say it's 55% to the downside, 45 upside, simply because we've got some sort of momentum to the downside. And looking at this, both trend lines are being smothered. I'd say this one's being smothered a bit more. So again, more conflictions. What was I going to talk about? Yeah, another fall in compression. In fact, Kobo from here, busted out. Where are the big ones? Okay, DOT. I've just got back into DOT. Let's get rid of that one. It's basically creating more of a bottoming pattern, in my opinion. We've got this sort of big level of resistance, and it's creating a bottoming pattern of somewhat. Let's check at the 4-hour chart. And also, so we had this fast move up, and I said the other day when this hit 26, and people were like, "You sure you're not going to get into DOT?" And I was like, "No." We've had the 50% pullback from this big move here, so that's satisfied now. And so again, I'm not ruling out the probability of hitting 21 again, because it very could easily hit this bit here. But I think with what's happening with the DOT network at the moment, I just want to get in that. So Ether being squeezed, again, there's just a bigger squeeze overall. I'm not interested in Ether. I don't own it. So, okay. Here's the other context. I do want to get in Ether, but all of my Ether allocation is in DOT, simply because when you're looking at the seesaw between DOT and Ether, DOT is massively undervalued compared to Ether. So my Ether allocation is in DOT, waiting for DOT to move up here. Then I'll move that allocation back into Ether, therefore ending up with more Ether. So it's just the seesaws. Moving on, Filecoin, looked at that gas. It's my biggest punt, so to speak. But looking a bit bearish at the moment. I'm in it though. but I'm fine. I've got an extra 20% tokens. I've got 20% more gas than I originally had, so I'm a happy chappy. What are the big ones? I've got my eye on the internet computer. This new coin that launched out of nowhere. It literally went from nothing to, it was in the top 10 of, I believe it was like top 10 or top 20 of coin market cap. Here we go. It was now 20. It's dropped a bit. But it was, I think, top 10 when it launched. And it launched at 600. 600. And it's now 50. 55. It's nuts. It literally came out of nowhere. So this is just a typical ICO pump and dump. Well, not pump and dump. It's basically the seed investors selling to get their money. And yeah, I still don't properly understand it. To be fair, I've probably spent 10 minutes looking into ICP. I just keep thinking Insane Clown Posse. I used to listen to a lot of ICP back in the day. And if you haven't listened to Insane Clown Posse, you will be in for a bit of a shock. So that's ICP. Kusama, I've already got back into that. Again, not liking this topping pattern, but everything is indecisive at the moment. Like, normally, like if you go back a few weeks, I was very decisive that this was a bearish market. And guess what happened? We had the falling over. All the alts shat themselves. But now we're in a bit of a doldrum area. We're creating all of these sort of bottoming patterns, in my opinion. So here, like with Link, we saw this rising compression. What did I say? I said, we'll have a breakout to the downside to base structure is what the textbook says. Obviously, we didn't get quite as far, but it's still, the move happened, which is great because I exited my Link around here, got back in around here. So again, I've got more tokens than I originally had. But what I'm looking at with Link right now is a bottoming pattern. So not only did we have this double bottom that played out, it's creating this head and shoulders. What is this? The right bum. What do you do on the right bum? You go long. So this then creates a bit of a bum line here. Yeah, so I've got back in, and this is sort of what I'm expecting with Link. Mana, blah, blah, blah. Nano, bearish. That's just really bearish. I've only got $1,000 in this. In fact, I think let's double check that. Stand by. Yeah. $795. It's gone down. That's why. So I'm in it. Looks a bit ropey. If we look at the daily chart. Actually, no. We've got a bit of a... the thing I was looking at was this sort of topping pattern. But again, you could have... Yeah, they're all looking the same. Sorry, I'm not helping at all here. Every chart is the same. I don't know how to say the same things over and over again. So we're in a squeeze with Neo. Again, I'm not in Neo. I'm in gas, which is part of it. Solana is one of my biggest ones. So I'm in Solana. It has bucked the trend quite a lot. Let's get rid of some of these lines. The only concern I have here is I always get slightly concerned whenever I see a bit of a rising compression in a rising market. However, there's just got such strong fundamentals behind Solana. I just can't ignore it. So I've got back in. I know I've got more tokens than I had. So yes, I'm not going to be scared or disappointed if it does break out, because I got in not too far from the base trend line, and you must never forget the base trend line. So this, I would say, is the base trend line. So, whoopsie, go away. Yeah, we could see a move back down to sort of 30, but overall, it's a very strong project. Theta, I've just got back in, I believe. Yeah, I think we're going to see a squeeze to the upside here. This top level is getting hammered. Well, not hammered. It's being attacked, and it's starting to get smothered. And on the 4-hour chart, there's an inverted head and shoulders. Here we go. Shoulder, head, shoulder, bum line, move up. So back into that. I'm not allowed to talk about Tesla because that's a regulated asset. There are some very interesting patterns talking about Tesla. I'm literally by law not allowed to even hint an up or down on Tesla. So I will not enrage the FCA. VeChain. I love VeChain. I love it. I can't remember. Is this one I'm in or out of? Sorry. Yeah, I got back in today. So literally about half an hour ago, I got back in, or not half an hour, an hour ago, I got back into VeChain. So this was a very same look. So when you're comparing VeChain and Link, very identical. Very identical. Good English, kid. Very similar. We didn't have the full move as I was sort of expecting. Originally, my entry or buy orders to get back in were around 70 odd cents, but we didn't get this. Instead, we got a bit of a consolidation and potentially an inverted head and shoulders forming up here. So yeah, I've got back in. So if we were to basically draw this trend line here, it's getting smothered. Smothered. Do you know the craziest thing? My 3-year-old's favorite song, which he plays or he demands to play it like 10 times a day, is a song called "Smothered" by Spineshank. I have a very eclectic music taste. Hip hop, R&B, and metal, basically. Yeah, he loves this song. Just watching him rock out again on "Smothered" is just hilarious. His little headbanger. It's funny how like what like young children are. Like my 5-year-old, who's 5 this Tuesday, he's like bloody Mahatma Gandhi. He's like the most peaceful, kindest, gentlest child you've ever met. Like he's so caring, it's ridiculous. To the point where like Ellie and I are having a bit of a heated conversation in the car like a few weeks ago, and then Koa right in the back of the car went, all right guys, breathe in, breathe out. And we're like, and it just stopped Ellie and I. We just looked at each other and went, what? Yeah. And so he was trying to do bloody guided meditation with us in the car. Whereas Romy, the 3-year-old, bloody, he sort of bullies Koa. He like pushes him over. He's quite a boisterous little guy. I don't know how, because I'm not boisterous. I don't know where he's got that from. Probably nursery. Right. Tom, Smothered. Yes, it's a classic. Right, let's move on. Sorry, I'm wasting all of your time. Vid T. This I'm in, and I'm very happy to be in this. This is a proper bottoming pattern. And we're getting smothered at the 55 level. Yeah, I'm looking forward to Vid T doing some big things in the future. Massively oversold. This is it's a relatively new project, but I'm very happy with this. Yeah, it'll do this. I know I could argue that this actually maybe a bearish rectangle forming. It's more of a compression, but it does this. It's just what it does. Okay, Monero. What am I in? Sorry, I keep forgetting the 4 that. Oh no, I got into Monero today. Again, same reasons. We had the breakout from that squeeze. And again, we've got a bit of a bottoming pattern on the 4-hour chart. Yeah, double bottom. It's on the bum line. Yeah, we should see it moving up from there. Ripple, don't give a shit about it because it's a shit coin. Moving on. I'm going to lose probably 20 people here going, Ripple's not a shit coin. To be fair, I don't care about Ripple at all. But it is looking bullish, to be fair. This is looking more like a squeeze to the upside here. So, yeah, XRP fans, not to worry. And then Zcash, yeah, we looked at that. So that's, I guess, a rummage around all of the markets. I'm in. I'm happy to be in. I've still got a fair chunk because it's Filecoin, ADA, Binance. Yeah, I still got a good, probably an 80, 90k to put in, but for the majority, I'm in. So I'm feeling less anxious, or not that I was anxious. Right. Tom has said, "Why do you think DOT is undervalued against Ether?" Just looking at the chart, mate. So look at DOT against Ether. So this is a question by Tom. Just look at it. So remember, this is a chart of Polkadot against Ether. So it has been at these levels before, but look at it. This is the range. If you're to look at this chart, I guess that is the baseline, which we're in right now. And we've had precedents. It's been up here before, so it's going to be a lot easier to get back up here. Therefore, you're going to end up with way more Ethereum by getting into DOT. Let's do the maths. So this is how my brain works, folks. You got, I don't know, let's say you want to put 10k into Ethereum. Okay, let's say Ethereum is your god. I know a lot of people worship Ethereum, etc., and you want as much Ethereum as possible. But let's actually get some doodles out here. Create whiteboard. Right. I guess for those that haven't seen seesawing, it's probably good practice. Repetition is the mother of learning and all of that lot and all that malarkey. So actually, let's get this. So you got $10,000 you want into Ether. If you were to put that into Ether right now, what would that give you? Ether, where's the price? Price. Come on. 2423. So 10 divided by 2423 equals 4.127. So you'd end up with 4.127 ETH. Okay, so that is if you just went in now plus HODL. Okay, and let's say the goal. Let's say we can all agree that Ether is going to get to 20k a coin eventually. Okay, so you got 4.12. Therefore, if we're correct, and you're let's just make it easier. 4.127 times 20,000. Your $10,000 could be 82,540. So therefore, the max potential is 82,540 if you were to just buy Ether right now, as it is. If you were to do the seesaw, like I've just suggested, and you put your 10k into DOT, what's the DOT price? 23.66. So you do 10 divided by 23.66 gives you 422,654. 422,654 DOT. Okay, but you don't give a shit about the price of DOT because you're just looking at the ratio. So you then go back to this chart: DOT versus Ether. Pick the bit. Kraken and Bittrex, it doesn't really matter. Let's look at Bittrex. It's probably got a bit more data. Nah, same data. Right, so you can then say to yourself, right, when I don't know, let's pick a level which is an easy hit target. So, I don't know, let's take this massive level here. This 0.02 level, okay? Remember, it's nothing to do with price. It's just the ratio between the DOT price against the Ether price. That is it. So, 0.02, right. So, your move would then be to sell all of your DOT into Ether when it hits 0.02, as an example. So what is the calculation? You do 4.22654 times 0.02. Let's double check that. 0.02. Yeah, that is correct. Check myself before I wreck myself. So guess what's going to happen? I'll end up with 8.453 ETH. Therefore, if we do see this, your potential profit is 8.453 times 20k equals 169, basically 169k. So that is the difference. You're basically getting double the profit by doing a seesaw. That's how I've always, gained more crypto. So that's seesaw practice. That's why. So I'm going to scroll from the top down. Okay. So some of your older questions I know have been missed. So let's have a look. Danny James, is now a good time to get into crypto? Yes. It's all about the pivot. Yes, Rob, I agree. What price am I expecting Aave at the end of 21? Don't care. I literally don't care. A minute, I'm gonna hodl. I don't know, because one, there's too many variables. We don't know. I mean, I could go through the the more patience Kryptonians equation and work it out with an anticipated market cap, anticipated market share. But yeah, all I'm doing is I'm waiting till December, where Bitcoin should peak, alts should peak around January, and then basically we enter the consolidation phase. So I don't care what price it is. I wonder why Real Vision have never approached you for an interview. Probably because they got Raoul Pol, who's better than me. That's why. He owns Real Vision, so he just wouldn't need me. So JB, I sent Ether to my MetaMask wallet on Binance Smart Chain network. I'd like to buy some Charlie 3 with ETH through MetaMask, but it's on Uniswap. Okay. Just connect your MetaMask wallet to Uniswap and then buy Charlie 3. Is it out yet? I've been looking for Charlie 3. Or it's Charlie 3. Let's look. Market. It's on Uniswap. Oh, sweet. It's out. Yeah, it's been on my list to buy. Oh, it's been out for a while, actually. Interesting. So C3. Let's have a look. See if it's on TradingView yet. No, it's not on TradingView yet. That's annoying. Yeah, I hate bloody line charts with a passion. Is it on TradingView? Maybe we can just click this. C3 USDT. No, it's not. Yeah, just connect the MetaMask to your to Uniswap, and then you'll be able to buy it. In fact, let's look at the market first. Sorry, double check. Yeah, you need wrapped Ether. Okay. So that's that. Is there an easy way, cheap way to move the Ether using MetaMask? No, you just got to send it from address to address. What chart do you look at this for information? This is called TradingView, these charts. Steve says, don't you think that Bitcoin will be even more volatile in the future when the big boys keep buying and then selling to manipulate prices and buying it back in? No, because the market cap is so huge of Bitcoin now. I mean, it was $1 trillion on its own, but now it's dropped down to sort of 700 billion. Like the bigger this market cap gets, the less volatile Bitcoin will become. So it will not make the crazy growth that you've become accustomed to in the future, because it's becoming an oil tanker now. Whereas I'd rather jump onto a frigate, a fast maneuverable frigate that has freaking rockets on, like Cardano, Polkadot, Solana, etc. So yeah, you need to use better titles and you get higher reach. Why Bitcoin could crash to 20? Yeah, I know it's a bit clickbait titles. I've never been a fan of clickbait titles. So yeah, I'm aware. I am an underappreciated asset. So Matty, I want to try an Aave loan to borrow against some crypto. If the eventual goal is to get as much Bitcoin as possible, then is it better to buy and borrow against BTC or Ether, given the risk of ETH 2.0? Yeah, it's better to dump Ether into Aave, borrow a stable coin, put that stable coin in, say, DOT, and then let DOT rally up high. So we've got that DOT Ether seesaw. You'll then get more ETH, and then that's the way forward. Because ETH is still going to go up in price. So that's what I would do. I would park Ether as your collateral on Aave, get USDC out, convert USDC into Polkadot, do the DOT to ETH seesaw, and then get out when you want to. So yeah. Paul Bale, Ada, why shorting it? Crazy. I know, absolutely crazy, especially with what's happening on the roadmap. Right. Hey, Danny Woodruff. Hey, champ, how do you get around the tax implications when selling crypto, particularly when selling at a high level and getting back in at a lower level? Yeah, you can't. You got to be aware of the bread and breakfast rule. So you can't, like, if you're trying to do like a tax shimmy around like that, you can't get back in for 30 days. So otherwise, they'll just ignore it. The other thing with tax is a really good question, because I'm sort of casting my mind forwards to sort of December, January time, and the thing is, it's too late. So let's say you're in crypto right now, and it gets to December, January. It's too late then to try and sort out your tax position, because then you're stuck. You're stuck in a position of selling crypto, which will then be a taxable event, and therefore you get hammered with CGT. But then even if you want to go and park it as a crypto loan, you then got to convert it probably into Bitcoin or Ether or something like that to then park it. Then just converting into Ether or whatever you're going to park is then a taxable event. So part of my concern right now is that I've got a massive spready of everything pretty much. So if I was to sit there and go, oh yeah, my whole portfolio's gone up X amount by January, February, whatever time, and then I go, right, I'm going to now get a crypto loan and park it all, put it all in Ether, put it in a crypto loan, etc. I'm still then taxed. So part of me is thinking maybe I just get rid of 50 different coins and then position myself as I mean to move forward. Therefore, a big chunk of me is thinking, why don't I put all of my whole portfolio into Ether, park Ether into Aave, take out a 50 to 70% loan LTV, and then use that loan from USDC to then rebuy back or some of my portfolio. Maybe not 60 odd coins, but maybe 20 coins. So that is my concern. But I don't really want to put everything into. Yeah, I'm in a bit of a dilemma myself personally at the moment. So hopefully that makes sense. Gary, we can come back to these videos later, can't we? Yep. So here there isn't a single video. I don't do this. Go to YouTube, type in Siam Kid, click on my face, go to playlists, and there is a crypto playlist. Or there's a wealth generation social chats. So it'll be at the bottom of that one, and this will also be at the bottom of this free crypto basics. So yeah, click my face, subscribe to my face, put the bell icon on, whatever YouTubers say these days. Subscribe. So that's that. Haley, sorry, when you say you don't buy Bitcoin, do you hold this or just convert to others? I just literally never buy Bitcoin. Why would you buy the slowest moving crypto? Now, before you start showing me loads of Michael Saylor videos, it's a bit different when you're holding billions of dollars worth of crypto compared to 6 figures worth of crypto or 4 figures worth of crypto. So if you've got, I would say, under $1 million worth of crypto, like I really wouldn't be in Bitcoin, because it's going to be so slow against everything else. Yes, I see Bitcoin hitting $1 million by 2026, which is what, 20x from here. Yes, I do see that, but everything else will move a lot faster, and I'll continually be getting into little seesaws as they moon, and all I care about is increasing my Bitcoin value of my portfolio. So I look at the Bitcoin value of my portfolio. I don't buy Bitcoin. I know it's a bit confusing. Ellie, I still try and explain to Ellie. She still doesn't get it. That's because I'm not good at explaining that concept. So yeah. Will Benger, Cold Sat looks like a good project, very early days. Yeah. So could you talk about how to do due diligence on newish projects like this? I've made a whole video on due diligence, crypto due diligence. I'll give you a little sneak peek. It's really for my students, as my realistic traders. It's when I made a shitcoin video. Basically, if I scroll down here, I'll probably find shitcoin video. Or maybe I won't. What's going on here? Sorry, where is my shitcoin video gone? Compounding. Not that one, not that one. Stock to flow. Sorry. I've completely lost my shitcoins. Here we go. So in this video, feel free to, you'll be able to press pause when this is uploaded on YouTube, but there's all sorts of things you can do. So you've got to check out the sectors. Is it a booming or potentially booming sectors? Look at the tokenomics, supply and distribution, market cap and volume, exchanges, the tech and roadmap, typos on their freaking websites and white papers, the project spend, where are they spending the money? Is the actual thing going to be profitable? Don't invest in money burning tokens. The hype hoo-ha, are the founders credible? Is it real utility value, or is it a cash grab? Is it a bullshit yield coin or token? I mean, yield farming's gone nuts. Is it active on Reddit, Discord? Are the devs actually posting anything? Are they doing stuff? Are there celebrities behind it? That can be a good thing and it can be a bad thing. Other notables, what's the unique perceived benefit? Typos, too many promises, that's use cases. Sometimes these coins are like, hey, we're going to be the next Bitcoin ether killer, and we're going to do everything. My mind switches off. How are they marketing it, and what scammy discounts are they offering? So there's a whole, I mean, that's just a little tip of the iceberg of due diligence. But that's basically what you can do. Also, my brain switches off going, Simon, what do you think of this coin? There's there's going to be an endless stream of new coins, and every new coin is going to be the next big thing. So I really don't care. Unless it's on page 6 of CoinMarketCap in terms of or higher, I'm not interested. So if it's below page 6, not interested. And at the moment, that means the lowest market cap I'll look at is $28 million. You just don't have a hope in hell, really, these days of getting your crypto out there, unless one, it's built on one of the new upcoming smart contract platforms like Polkadot, Kusama, AVAX, Solana, ETH, or maybe not ETH, and then it needs to be something that's actually going to do something, and you need to raise a lot of money, because really it's just a marketing game at the end of the day when launching a new coin. Right, let's look at the questions. Alexander, how do you search for the patterns of under or overvaluation like NeoGas? I'm going to have to say, look at the previous live sessions. I've gone through this. I spent about half an hour going through this, so I'm sorry, mate. Matty, if I fancy buying some crypto on Aave to borrow against... Oh, yes, I've already answered that one. Alex said, but Simon, doesn't that give .eth a deadline to get to that level, 0.02, to the end of 2021 bull run? Or what if the bull run... No, it's irrelevant because it's all relative to Ether. So they could both crash in price, and you can still get that, DOT just has to crash a bit slower than Ether is crashing. Or they can both moon, but it's likely that DOT will moon faster than Ether. So it doesn't matter whether it's pre or post bull run. Remember, everything you're doing right now should be there so you're set up for the 2025 bull market. Not now. Everyone's getting too myopic with crypto. And even 2026 is still short term, in my opinion. Short term. It was really short term. Because when looking at stock to flow, by 2026, a Bitcoin should be worth $1 million. Okay? So this is not long term. This is still in my investing time frame, short term. So you should be positioning yourself now to accumulate as much Bitcoin wealth, but by owning other cryptos, so that when Bitcoin zooms up to $1 million, you're basically going to be in the money. Because what you don't know is that, imagine you got this oil tanker, which is Bitcoin. It's moving forward. You can see it's going to go up, it's going to go for the next 20 years or whatever. And so you want to get to things faster. So what you need to do is get into smaller, faster boats to zoom ahead of Bitcoin, but eventually they're going to run out of fuel, or they're going to sink, or whatever. So you're basically zooming ahead, wait until, and then getting out before these boats start getting too big and then slowing. Because what could happen is they could zoom ahead and get too big. And so I'm always flip-flopping different seesaws. And I don't know, let's say it's a race, and every time you win this little mini race, you're getting another room on the big oil tanker. I don't know. I'm not good with my analogies, but that's the thing. I'm never on the oil tanker. I'm always zooming around it. So I like lead to be overhyped shitcoins like Porg worth a small punt early. I don't know. I think we're past the whole dog coin, shitcoin thing. I think it was just a fad. And don't forget, the world is littered with gamblers. You know, people that go to Vegas, go to actual casinos. And so you have, you know, and during lockdown, all of these people couldn't go to casino. So what do? They're staying at home. They're doing online gambling, and a lot of them entered crypto. And so a lot of those were people pushing up GameStop and AMC and Dogecoin, all these sorts of things. And I think maybe we've exhausted the Dogcoin meme shitcoin sort of thing. That's my opinion. I've still got a teeny weeny bit of SHIB and Doge just as a punt, but yeah. Simon, if you're concentrating all your time on current market cap up to the end of the bull run in order to maximize profits, would you still just hodl and sidestep occasionally, or would you trade it more aggressively? It all depends. Every single time I do a sidestep, I'm looking at the potential profit I'll make compared to the tax implication by jumping in and out of something. Because every time you move across to something, it's a taxable event. So that's how I measure it up. I mean, in the early days, I'd really like, when I was playing with 4 or 5 figures, I really didn't give a shit because the tax implication is nothing. But when you get into chunkier numbers, then it really does make a difference. Haley, basic question for my basic brain. You mentioned you never buy Bitcoin. Do you hodl these or just use to buy into others? No, I just don't touch it. So Virginia, can you do a seesaw on Binance and ETH? Yeah, we can have a look at it. So BNB ETH. I've never looked at this chart, so it'll be quite interesting to see. Right. So looking at this, Binance is overvalued compared to Ether, historically speaking. So Binance has always been around sort of this area, around the 0.05 level. And obviously it's massively shot up. But looking at this, we've got a massive head and shoulders forming up here and a rising compression in a falling market. So looking at this, again, this is just, yeah, mind you, I would have said exactly the same thing over here. I would have actually said a rising compression in a rising market would have fell off there. But in fact, it didn't. It bucked the trend. I mean, technically, this is what should happen. But yeah, Binance against Ether is somewhat overvalued at the moment, and it's resting on this trend line here. So if you're looking over here, so there's definitely a strong support level around here, which is why you can see it fannied around this line for ages, busted up. Look at this. So it shot back down, hit this level, bounced off it, bust through it, and it looks like it could be starting a Kobo. May not, I don't know. Personally, I don't know. So this is where fundamentals come in and go, yeah, but Binance has got more legs than Ether at the moment, because as more people buy crypto, more people go to Binance to buy the crypto. Therefore, you can value Binance as in the company like a traditional stock. Does it make shitloads of profits, billions of profits? Yes, it does. Is it an in-demand sector, crypto? Yes. And not only is it an in-demand crypto sector like crypto, it's a freaking exchange. It's a CeFi, so centralized exchange. It's setting up a DeFi exchange. It's getting into NFTs. It's getting into DeFi, so decentralized finance, loans and stuff. It's doing everything. So I would say there's still upside to come with Binance against Ether. That is. JB, problem I'm having with the C3 is that the Ether is only showing when the smart chain network is connected, not the Ether main. Can I change the network? It's held on MetaMask. I'm not sure. I don't really play around with MetaMask. In fact, I'm not going to open that. So yeah, I haven't got much. I really don't play around with MetaMask too much. Also, Simon, do you think Bitcoin could have what might be a temporary spike down when the so-called death cross happens? This bloody death cross. Everyone's talking about this death cross. In a previous video, I talked in depth about this death cross, and it's just, I would say completely ignore it. Just ignore it. Yeah, it's just noise. People over-exaggerating noise. What video did I talk about the death cross? Just to help. Oh, damn it. It's going to be hard. It's in one of these sessions. Sorry. In fact, where is it in the... It's probably in the last one. I talk about M&As. 1 second.
What are your thoughts on amounts? This could
I'm just trying to see if there's... Yeah, here we go. So if you find this video from the 10th of June, and then fast forward to 1 hour and... I don't know, 1 hour and...
In fact, literally anything. Simply...
Yeah, around 1 hour.
The fourth hour.
I talk about the death cross and stuff. So check that out there. Right, so I think that's the end of the crypto questions, and it's been 1 hour and 10 minutes. Oh, sugar. So 1 sec. I've got a 1:30 appointment to visit a property. Oh shit! I've really got to go. Damn it! At 1:30, I've got to view this new property because I'm moving a business from one property to another, and we cannot. We basically have to leave this other property, and we need to find another one. And I've got 15 minutes to run out or drive over there. I'm so sorry. What I'll do tomorrow? Do I have time off tomorrow? I'm just going to check my calendar. Ah, shit. I'm in the car all day tomorrow. Because really what I wanted to do is talk about this WAP. I think we'll have to hold another live session. So I'm so sorry for those who are waiting for this. But basically, a guy in the WAP group called Tom Smith, he's setting up his new business, his new WAP. He's been going through the WAP. He's been watching all the videos, and he's executing. I'm so happy that he's executing. And what I was going to do is go through his whole business. And he's created some landing pages. His homepage is called veganbox.co.uk. And yeah, so it's got some legs, and I want to go through this, but I don't have time. I'm so sorry. Spent an hour talking about crypto. That's a shame. So Tom, I apologize massively. I will go through this on the next live session, which will be Monday, I'm afraid. So, right, I'm going to put this in my calendar right now. So, live session, talk about Tom Smith pages first. Right, it's in the calendar. I will not forget it. Apologies. And I will see you soon. I really got to get in the car. See you later. Toodles. Got to love you and leave you. Have a great weekend. See you Monday, 12 o'clock.